This is Gary Davidson, and I had the practice group at Castle Law, and I want to talk to you about possession of the property. Pre-closing, post-closing, and what buyers need to understand on the day of closing. Sometimes parties will be in a position where they have sold the house, but they have not yet bought it, or a buyer is looking for pre-closing possession of the property. If you encounter a situation where you need to continue to maintain possession of the property after you've sold the property, or as a buyer, if you're trying to obtain pre-closing possession, there are agreements that have to be executed between the parties that your attorney will assist you with in drafting. What I will say to both buyers and sellers is I discourage both pre and post closing possession. The reason for that is when buyers move into a property, they oftentimes will discover that perhaps they don't like the way the door shuts. Perhaps they don't like the way the air conditioner works. And that causes a tremendous amount of problems for you being able to close in your property and getting the balance of the proceeds if you allow a buyer pre-closing possession. Similarly, as a buyer, if a seller is allowed to maintain possession, if their circumstances change and perhaps their closing on their new house doesn't go as planned, you may inherit a problem of attempting to get a seller out of a property, and you yourself could uh, end up homeless because your lease or your other house is sold. So, in order to mitigate those problems, we definitely discourage both pre and post closing possession. Now, if you have to do this, you're going to want to contact us at Castle Law, and we will put together a very thorough agreement that is intended to minimize your risk and maximize your return with money held in escrow so that if anything bad happens, you're protected. For purposes of the closing, if there are no issues with pre and post closing possession, buyers, you're going to want to do a full walkthrough of the property to verify the property is in the same condition it was when you made your offer. And of course, for sellers, when the closing is set, it doesn't mean that you move out after the closing. The property must be in broom clean, immaculate condition prior to the actual closing taking place. What I recommend is that you're out of there broom clean in a minimum of 3 hours in advance because the buyer's going to want to conduct a walkthrough. Remember, it always takes longer than we think to do these sorts of things. So if you think it's going to take you 6 hours to move out of the house, plan on it taking you at least 12. I'm Gary Davidson. We're here for your tip of the day at Castle Law. Look forward to helping you get from contract to closing quickly.